As some of you know by now, I go on TikTok quite a lot. I try to upload pretty much every day, if not every couple of days. And at this point in time, my For You page is currently stuck on roller coaster videos and theme park videos and vlogs. I really like roller coasters. I have such a huge love for roller coasters and appreciation for the building of them. But I also like to watch sort of roller coaster videos and stuff. But occasionally, TikTok has been showing me this compilation, like clip compilation of these impossible looking rides. And immediately I know they're fake. They look really, really strange. And I ended up reacting to one of the compilation clips on the TikTok app. And someone commented and said, this is part of a short film called the Centrifuge Brain Project. Guess what we're going to be reacting to today? The full film is on YouTube. It's only about 6.5 minutes long, 7 minutes long. But it is on YouTube if you want to go and look it up for yourselves. I'm going to leave the video link in the description below anyway. I feel like a lot of this I probably would have already seen. After finding the clips of some of the rides, I did end up looking up to see if there was any more. So chances are a lot of these kind of ride designs I've already seen. But it'll be interesting to see what the short film's actually like. Apparently this came out in 2011. But I think that's really interesting. Like, TikTok is making these clips viral and it's becoming sort of popular again. This film's becoming well known again. What, like 13 years later? I think that's really, really interesting. But yeah, I really have nothing else to say for the moment. Experiments, oh my god.
Which was the Sphere-a-thon.
Okay, pause. Because this thing I have seen, this thing I've seen before, this makes me so uncomfortable. There's another ride as well in this short film that I want to pause on as well when it gets to it. This makes me so uncomfortable because my brain can't comprehend how big this thing is and like the amount of people that are attached to this thing. There's people like, hang on. There's people at like the regular angles of like swing rides, but there's people at like this kind of angle facing that way. What?
Centrifugal force causing the people to float upside down. The difficulty was
oh my god, what the hell? God, it's such a weird looking. They're so weird looking. Oh my god, that went by so.
These machines provide total freedom.
Okay, so those people are mincemeat. Okay, this is the one I want to talk about. The hack, the HAC. This is the one I want to talk about. See if it can show the whole thing. There we go. Wait, look! Look how high up this thing goes. Yeah, this thing makes me really uncomfortable the most. Because again, like, you can't comprehend it. You can't comprehend the height. Or like how high it is and how it works.
And not realizing that it was a 14-hour ride.
I'm sorry, what? That is so weird. I haven't seen that one before.
An incident where the expander was placed a little bit too close to the building. There were no real problems with it, and there was a level of undefined brain activity.
Aside from someone smashing into a building.
Tried to compensate for the weight and size differential between an adult and a baby. By
building a death machine. Yeah, ready for this?
Unpredictability was an important aspect of our work.
Whee! Those people are dead. So those people are dead. How is there still screaming coming off that? Okay, so most of those I have seen before. Most of those I've seen before. The expander, I hadn't seen that clip before. The fact that he was like, when he was talking about the expander, which I'll put clips in when I'm talking about what ride I'm talking about. But when he talks about the expander, it was like, oh, we had issues, you know, one incident. It went fine apart from one incident where we had it too close to the building. And then he just moves on like it's nothing. It's just like, hang on a minute, you're not going to talk about that? And the fact that he keeps going, oh, we've had setbacks, and You know, they're not mistakes. They're not mistakes. And like, judging by the rides that you created, I think those mistakes are called deaths. Like the amount of those rides where it's just like, I'm surprised I can still hear these people screaming. I'm surprised I can still hear these people screaming. Especially with the slingshot one at the end. I like that the slingshot we didn't get any commentary on. I feel like we didn't need to get any commentary on that. Because again, those people, the moment it started swinging around, those people would be dead. Like, because a human cannot withstand the G-forces and the speed and the acceleration that would have. It just wouldn't be possible. Really, really interesting documentary. I really, really liked this. I can't believe it's taken me years to find it, but this feels like right up my street, like the weirdness. And it definitely feels like, think like the back rooms or liminal spaces, but for amusement park rides. It feels like that, where I have seen in the comments as well, people saying, oh, this is like the most dreamlike state a film has ever portrayed, like the most realistic form of a dream that someone has portrayed. And I completely agree, like, especially the Ferris wheel one, was it High Altitude Conveyance? That is the one that feels like this is a dream. Like, I am dreaming, you know, you have those dreams where in the moment it makes sense, but then you wake up and think, what the hell was that? It feels like that, like all of these do. The Sphere one, I hadn't seen the full thing. So I had seen that one on TikTok, but I hadn't seen the actual full thing of the people hanging up, like floating upside down. So essentially, the ball thing is a planet. Because the people were orbiting around it. He didn't really explain how they made that work. And then the fact that he was like, oh, we needed to figure out a way of getting people down without like crashing into the top and crashing into the upper levels. And then the film just moved on. It's like, okay, you're not going to address that then. It feels like he feels like a sort of, yeah, it's like a mad scientist, but some of his sort of motives kind of make sense. Like, well, not make sense, but like I can understand them. He's like, I want to push past the limitations of what is physically possible, and I want to break the laws. Like, what is the boundary that I can push between like breaking the laws of gravity? Like, how far can I push that? So I kind of got it, but then you see all this stuff and it's just like, this is, what you're ignoring is you're also killing people in this. Like, that's what you're ignoring, and just calling it mistakes, calling it setbacks. The fact that he called the riders, when he was talking about, oh, people would go in this, he called them test subjects. I don't think he ever called them human or people. He called them test subjects, which was also interesting. But yeah, there's also people in the comments saying like, oh, this is really creepy and it's scary. I guess it's scary in a sense of looking at these rides, you know that those people are dead. The moment it starts, those people are dead. But for me, I don't find this creepy or scary. I more find it uncomfortable and surreal. Because for me, especially the wedding cake one, where it's suddenly, like, the upper arm suddenly went at an angle and started swinging around freely. Like, from what I can gather, no ride or roller coaster or anything is able to do that. Like, able to move that smoothly and that sort of fluidly. And it feels, yeah, it looks very unnatural and very strange and foreign. In terms of like, yeah, very foreign and very alien, of like, this is not something of this world. Yeah, God, the blooming Ferris wheel one, the conveyance, was really uncomfortable to see. Because again, like, it's the same with the Spheritone one, the ball, where it's like, I can't comprehend the size of that. And especially with the Ferris wheel, like, it just keeps going up and up and up. And there doesn't seem to be any end to it. By the way, sorry, that one was 14 hours long. I mean, that makes sense. But the fact that, what I find funny about that, firstly is like, oh, it's 14 hours, but then he says, oh, people go on it and they don't realise it's 14 hours long. It's like, do you not have warning signs about that? Because usually when you go on rides, you have like health and safety like warnings, like, oh, if you're pregnant or if you have like a nervous disposition or this and this and this, maybe it's not best to go on the ride. I feel like that should have been included in the warning, like, by the way, once you go on this, you are stuck on this for 14 hours. If you forget to get off it, bye-bye, it's another 14 hours. Like, oh my god. And then the fact he goes on to say, oh, after that, like, we realised they had nothing to do. It's like, oh, so it is literally a Ferris wheel where the pods have nothing in them for 14 hours. That's a bit much. I feel like you should have thought about that one. Yeah, this was definitely quite interesting. I really enjoyed this. I love this. It's very weird and surreal, but I feel like it's right up my alley of like weird things, of like the weird, also unique. Like, this is a really unique film. I've never seen any other fictional film, because again, this is a mockumentary, I forgot to mention that, well, obviously, but I've never seen any other fictional film like this. I've never seen anything like this. I think the visual effects are also really, really done well, because it looks of the time, and the way that it's been filmed and the quality of the video footage, it looks real. And I think that's what makes it more strange and sort of surreal as well, and eerie, is that it does look real. And I think as well, like, it's also mixed in with other regular Funfair rides. I know mixed in within this, and I think that's also what makes it weird as well. Yeah, this was really strange. So how do people get onto the Spheratone, and how do people get off and on that wedding cake ride? Because he never answered those, and apparently that wasn't a problem to him. How does that happen? But yeah, this was fantastic and so strange. This was great. But this was called the Centrifuge Brain Project. This is a short film by Teal Nowak. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Again, it is on YouTube in full if you want to go and watch it. There's also behind the scenes, very, very short clip to do with behind the scenes and how they made the visual effects for the rides. So if you want to go and watch that as well, I will put the link in the description below, as well as a link to this short film. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye!